And one of the best ways to actually build partnerships or build momentum in relationship is just to add value to people. Like, don't ask for anything in return at all. And one of the best ways you can do that is by being the connector, by being the person who connects people together so that they can do business together. Now, the cool thing is when you become the connector, and I'll give you some examples for a real estate agent that you can do this as an investor, both of them. The magical thing about being a connector is everyone comes to you, or they refer new people that come into the industry to you first because you're the connector. And so then they say, hey, you should go meet Marcia, you should go meet Tommy. And then you get to meet all these amazing people.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Carrot Cast. Now, the Carrot Cast, we're usually diving in doing interviews with amazing real estate investors, amazing real estate agents. Now, in these episodes, every Thursday, they're the Trevor Truck Talks, where you get to hear behind the scenes of the mindset shifts I'm going through as a CEO of one of the fastest growing companies in America, and the mindset shifts you can take to run your business and win back your freedom as well. Let's dive into this episode.
All right, y'all. Part 2 on partnerships coming at you. So one of the big things that a lot of you guys and gals probably don't know about me is kind of what some of my career was before Carrot. So I've mentioned a lot that I had a publishing company, online publishing company. It wasn't a big company. Like I said, we did around $500,000 plus or minus a year, split between the two business partners minus some expenses. And we ended up having a pretty good income. But during that time, one of the things I also did was started a company that's the only company I've ever actually sold outright. Neither one of them were big exits. Both of them were around the same size, both under $100,000 exits. So not even really an exit, more just buying back the time than anything. But this other company was based on what I'm going to talk about today in part 2 of partnerships. So part 1, I talked about actually going into business with somebody. So actual business partnership and what you need to do to make sure that you don't do it the wrong way. You know, I've had successful business partnerships and unsuccessful ones, more successful ones than not. And I've seen really bad partnerships blow up. And so I walked through some of the things to avoid, some of the things to do, and some of the things to look for, and what to look for in a co-founder. So go check that one out. But this one here is about partnerships done in a different way. So back in 2008 or so, when I launched my online publishing company, right before that, I started a networking group that was in the industry of real estate educators. Okay, it was educators, promoters, and kind of like the crew you see today, right? You'll see like Cody Sperber and Pace Morby and Brent Daniels and Max Maxwell, all those guys, right? So it was those guys, but 10 or 12 years ago, okay, before that crew was in. And so I was new to the game, and I really didn't know anyone in the industry. And I knew of people, but no one really knew me. And one of the best ways to actually build partnerships or build momentum in relationship is just to add value to people. Like, don't ask for anything in return at all. And one of the best ways you can do that is by being the connector, by being the person who connects people together so they can get value, they can do business together. Now, the cool thing is when you become the connector, and I'll give you some examples for a real estate agent that you can do this as an investor, both of them. The magical thing about being a connector is everyone comes to you, or they refer new people that come into the industry to you first because you're the connector. And so then they say, hey, you should go meet Marcia, you should go meet Tommy. And then you get to meet all these amazing people. So in 2008, I literally sent an email to a small group of people, and I somehow got into this Google group back when Google groups were a thing. So there was a Google group where there was a few dozen of these high-level promoters and experts. Than Merrill, when he was just starting to really get going at that time, a bunch of other people like that. And they're getting ready to shut the group down because they had set it up just for a specific promotion. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if we could just like continue to talk like this ongoing, and I can converse with and see these amazing people that I was looking up to at the time, and I might be able to like be in that network. And they were getting ready to close it down. So I emailed the guy who owned it, which was Greg Clement. And I said, Greg, would you mind if I just sent an email out to this group and created a Google group on top of this one that basically just lived on forever, and we can keep these conversations going? And it's probably a week or two later, he emailed back and said, yeah, go for it. Years later, when him and I became friends, he said he consulted with a few guys about, should we do this? And then they all said, no, it won't work. And so I launched it. a bunch of people thought the same thing, that it was a great idea, because that group grew into the biggest networking group, online networking group for real estate educators, promoters, really to do joint ventures together. And it ended up being hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Everyone that was in the business at all was in that group. And yeah, I got introduced to people like, oh my gosh, big name people, Dean Graziosi. Dean Graziosi, I have his cell phone number on my cell. Like, I can text Dean right now. And other guys like Robert Allen, the big no money down guy, and tons of other people that you would recognize that have just been epics in the industry. And the thing that I did was I just said, hey, here's this group. It started off free, and then I started charging a couple $100 a year because it was really high value and people were referring people. It was referral only. You couldn't get into it any other way other than referral. There was no website. It was literally just a page that had an opt-in form that said, if you've been referred over here by somebody, put in your information, fill out this application basically and hop on a call with me. And so I was able to meet everybody and vet and verify them, make sure that they were legit, had similar values, or at least from the face value had similar values. And then from there, we ended up growing that group. So I sold that group to a friend of mine named Matt Andrews a couple of years ago, and he's grown it even bigger. But the reason I bring this up is because I added so much value to that group without asking anything in return, that at the end of the day, it created an amazing group of people who were my joint venture partners in business. So I've started businesses with those people. I've done business with those people. I've worked deals together with people. We've bought businesses together, or invested in businesses together. We've promoted each other's products where the products were a fit. We've integrated into each other's businesses to help add value to our clients, add value to our own businesses. And it's just magical. So how could you do that as a real estate agent? And I'll give you a few examples of other ways I'm doing joint ventures where it doesn't require you to be in business with the person, okay? So if you're a real estate agent, one way that you can do this, and I've got some friends that are doing this up in Eugene, Oregon, actually, Robert Grand and Ricky Grand. They have a group where they actually get together around charities and nonprofits. I think it's quarterly, and it's called Impact Club. And they go out there and basically have this event where they everybody who attends, there's 100 people who attend, and all 100 people donate $100. The $100 goes into a pool. And then I think there's 10 small nonprofits that aren't usually getting the big bucks, that come and get to pitch, kind of like Shark Tank. And the cool thing is, Robert and Ricky get a chance to meet so many people. They get a chance to be the connectors. They get a chance to really build their brand and add value to people, add value to the community through the donation. And the nonprofit charity that wins the vote at the deal from the audience gets the $10,000. And so they're really impacting the community and building a great brand and a name. Okay, so that's something anybody could do. You don't have to have like a network to start that. You just have to find a few people who are interested in philanthropy. You come up with an idea for a reason for people to get together and have a party, and then you basically invite these nonprofits in. So your brand just grows and grows and grows. Now, what happens when people are wanting to connect with someone in the market or a real estate agent? Well, they're going to say, man, Robert and Ricky, they're these amazing guys. Why don't you go connect with them? Or you can do it, and it doesn't have to be around philanthropy. It could be it could be something around a certain neighborhood where everybody that moves in that neighborhood, whether they worked with you or not, you send them something cool, and then you guys have like quarterly neighborhood parties if it's a neighborhood that you live in, or a neighborhood that you want to drive more awareness in. Or you could actually pick your 3 or 4 or 5 top neighborhoods that you want to do, and find one of your clients who lives in that neighborhood and co-host a summer party with them every year. And then you got 4 summer parties happening in your 4 top neighborhoods that you want to do. You co-host it, but it's with one of your clients. So you guys just have a lot of fun. And so people get to meet you. You get to be a connector. I did it here locally as an entrepreneur. I knew nobody here in Roseburg when I moved here. And then I just said, well, there's got to be other small entrepreneurs young entrepreneurs who want to get together and just network. And so I started something called the Young Entrepreneur Group. And every single month we'd get together at 5:30 on the last Wednesday. And we would just go to a different pub at that time. We'd started to make them housed at the Loft Entrepreneur Co-workspace that we have downtown. And then I'd start to get to know people, like amazing people, friends, mentors, people I've done investments with, joint ventures with, where we put in money together to invest into companies. I've done deals with these people that are showing up and hired them to do work for me and vice versa. Okay. And that all happened from me just literally saying, hey, I'd love to get together with more people that kind of have a mindset like this. Let me just start something. The starting is the hardest part. And then the following through is even harder, because when you start it always starts off slow. It's always really hard, but the momentum builds as you do more and more networking, as you do more and more joint venture partners and create an amazing experience for and with people. The momentum builds. Then all of a sudden, you can't even stop it anymore. So what about real estate investors? If you're a wholesaler, and my friends like Pace Morby and Bo Hollis and so many other people really run their businesses this way for the most part, is Bo Hollis has meetups. Pace Morby does meetups as well, but Bo has a Louisville, Kentucky real estate investor meetup, and they get together every single month, and he hosts it in a cool spot, and they bring in 50, 60, 70, 80 people that are wanting to invest or are investing, and they have a couple good speakers, and then they just get together and talk. There's no other agenda. Get together and talk. But the cool thing is, Bo's done so many joint venture deals from that, where other investors or wholesalers are bringing their deals to him. He's the expert. He's getting so many deals from that route right now that, he doesn't have to do direct mail, doesn't have to do cold calling like he used to do. Okay. He does carrot and he does that. And so you guys can do the same darn thing. Real estate agents, you guys can do the same thing. Do a monthly, if you're a hybrid, or if you're an investor focused one, do a monthly investor meetup or monthly real estate meetup. And you could even host it for all the other real estate agents. So when those other real estate agents are out there struggling, a lot of agents don't collaborate, guys. Like, you treat each other like competition, but there's a lot of newer real estate agents that just don't know how to do certain deals. But they have deal flow. And so Bo is holding these events, guys, for his competition. Okay. He's holding these events for other investors in his market. And it's actually creating more deals from him because he is the expert and people come to him to do a joint venture deal. So the way that a joint venture real estate deal usually works is depending on who it is, but the ones I've done have usually been 50-50. Okay. So if I bring the lead, and I'm bringing the value in the lead, and the other person brings the closing of the deal, it's usually a 50-50 split. Now, it depends on how much vetting of the lead you've done, how good the lead source is, but it's usually around that 50-50 split. Now, I've seen other ones like 25-75, and you just kind of have to figure it out. If you're brand new, I would take any split, y'all. Like, I would take any split. If you're brand new and you've got a lead, go to a really, really amazing investor, mentor in that market, and just say, hey, I've got this amazing lead. I will give it to you and work it with you. And I want you to have 90% of the deal. Just give me the 10. I just want to learn. Okay. And if you start to do that with some of those big investors, you're going to start to be on their radar, and they're going to come to you for joint venture deals now as well. Okay. So a couple ways I've done JVs in this past couple of years. So like I said, invested in some businesses. So yeah, we technically are quote unquote owners together, but not operationally. I don't work in those businesses. Number two, I'm a joint venture partner with a few real estate investors that are Carrot customers. And I put in either the money or the lead source, and they put in the time and the energy to do the deal. Okay. Another way you can do a joint venture, which a lot of people wouldn't call this a joint venture, is you can loan money. And so at any given time, I'm loaning, to two or three of my, hand-picked amazing investors I've known for ages and ages. All of them have been Carrot Camp alumni for many, many times. I know, like, and trust them a lot. And so I fund a lot of their deals. And that's a great way to do a JV, where you can go to somebody with money and say, hey, I've got a deal. You've got the money. Do you want to partner on this? Oftentimes I'm the lender, where I charge points up front and then a good interest rate. And then oftentimes I actually get a cut of the deal as well. Okay, so it just really depends, y'all. I want you guys to look at these opportunities. Look at opportunities out there in both partnering in business with somebody. If you feel like, man, I'm just doing so much work and things aren't really moving forward as much as they could, and you're a high quick start like me, go back and listen to episode 1 of this partnership series, where I walk through exactly what you should look for in a partner, because you can really accelerate results big time if you have the right partner versus trying to go it alone. All of my most successful ventures have always had a partner, every single one of them. Okay. So number two, if you don't want to go into business with somebody, or let's say you already are, but you want to find other opportunities for collaboration and for generating more income, find opportunities that can turn into joint venture partnerships. It could be on deals. It could be you as a real estate agent referring another real estate agent a deal. Let's say they specialize in commercial and you want to send it to them and you can split in the commission. Okay. Let's say there's an area of town or a different town that you get a lead in, get to be good friends with the real estate agent in that area and refer them over there and split the commission. What's going to happen is they're going to start referring stuff over to you as well. Okay. It's going to be massively mutually beneficial. If you're an investor, find someone more experienced than you if you're brand new and bring them the leads and partner with them and even give them the majority of the profit in the first few. Okay, if you're an investor or agent, start an event, start a networking event. That's been one of the most successful things I've done over and over and over again in my life. Is anytime I want to really get into a community, really get into, build my brand in an area, I just start an event. I start a networking group. I've done it 3 times now, and all 3 times I became the central expert in that area that people would refer me to. And you just got to be consistent. You got to be showing up every single time, add value to people without asking for anything in return. And it ends up coming back to you in spades. So guys, I'm pulling into the house. By the time I'm recording this is Super Bowl Sunday. I don't really watch football, but I like watching big events like this. It's fun. And got some Valentine's Day stuff for the fam. But I hope you guys have an amazing week, amazing year. I want you guys to look at partnerships in a different way. Don't look at them from a mindset of lack, of what am I going to be giving up? Look at it from a mindset of abundance, of what am I going to be gaining by working with someone. It's kind of like the equation of 2 + 2 does not equal 2, 2 + 2 = 3. All right, guys. So have an amazing rest of the week. Go rate and review this CareCast, guys. We're marching down 400 5-star reviews. Let's get over 400, up over 500. The more that we do, the more that this message gets spread, so we can help more investors and agents build businesses of freedom and impact, guys. That's why we're here. Love you guys big time. Have an amazing weekend. And if you guys haven't heard yet, we have something amazing coming up. If you're listening to this when this comes out, called the Carrot Summit. So we're going to be giving you guys the URL. Might be something like carrotsummit.com. I don't remember, but keep an eye out, guys, because we're going to be doing a big event, bigger than we've ever done. It's going to be a virtual event, 24 hours of content over 2 days. So keep an eye out. End of March, Carrot Summit coming up, guys. Have an amazing rest of the week.